and now it's up. Hello, everybody. Gotta get all my yeah. How do you say? Oh wow, it's white. Okay, anyway, yeah. Let's see. That was that one, and then I need oh, I got this one over here. Zip zoop. Oops. You go here. And you go here. You go here, you go here. Any day now. Should have music. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Oh, I don't need music. You know what? No music today. No music today. Hey, everybody. It's the Electron Bandit show. I don't know what to call this thing yet. But I am Electron Bandit, a.k.a. Stephen D. Gibson, a.k.a. SG, a.k.a. whatever. Yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff. Some real cool stuff. Yeah, you know it's bad when you got to say, oh, man, this is going to be a good show. Show's going to be so good, you don't even know how good it's going to. How good is it? The show's so good that I'm going to like my own show. That's how good it is. Okay, maybe not. Close that. Have a couple of things open here. And I need Faucet book. That's what I need. I need me some Faucet book. Faucet book, baby. Give me that Faucet book. Faucet book, baby. Yeah. That's how you do vibrato, right? Yeah. Right? That's how you do it. Faucet book. Why did I do that? I had a... I'm such a dummy. I'm such a Dumas. How you doing there, Mr. Dumas? It's dumbass. Sorry, I had that backwards. How you doing there, Mr. Dumbass? It's Dumas. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Mute. Okay. We're ready now. We ready? Are we ready? Let me turn me up. We're ready now. We're ready? Hello? Let me turn me up. That's better. I can hear myself now. Did I have a... Yes, I do have a story. So tired. Pets are cool. Pets are cool. I'll start off with that. Pets are cool, but on the other flip side, pets suck. Because they get old and stuff. Let's see. I'll say R.I.P. Ozzy. He passed away like last month. So I never said nothing about it. I didn't post it on Instagram or nothing like that because I'm like, whatever. Now, I spent 3 hours yesterday at the animal triage, I guess this you call it, because it was like, we went, okay, I don't know about y'all and pets and stuff, but, you go to the hospital and, animal hospital. And the one we usually go to is like nice, big, shiny, and you sit in the lobby, and then they say, oh, there's a little room, and then they take it in the back. They take it in the animals in the back, and they do whatever, and then whatever, right? Not this one. It's like, yeah, just come on back. And it's literally a triage. There's an open table. The next table, they slicing up this puppy. Like, slip, slap, slap. They just put a hole right in the little puppy. They were like shaving, put a hole in there. They were digging. So I don't know what they were doing, but the puppy was sleeping. I was there so long that they poked a hole in this puppy, and they did whatever they did, zip zapped it up, and it woke up and left. That's how long I was there. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it was a little bit of blood. It wasn't that bad. I was like, oh, that's how they do it. And just sit there. You can sit here. You can come over here. And blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. That's weird. I was like, okay. This is how y'all do it now? I mean, maybe I've just been sheltered from the real world where, this is like the real world animal hospital. I've been going to Beverly Hills Hospital or something. I was like, all right. Nah, they were nice, though. And anyway, Belly, her name's Bella, but I call her Belly because it's close enough. And she's a middle-aged dog. She's a Chihuahua, so, they got issues. And she was having issues. She was breathing heavy. I was like, oh, no, what's going on? Bridget was freaking out like, ah! I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, she wasn't feeling good. Dog wasn't feeling good. So she made me take the dog to the hospital. I was like, okay, take it to the hospital. to the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. They threw her in the oxygen room tank. It was just an oxygen box. It was the ox box. You put on the oxygen. It was cold in there, too. I can imagine how Belly was feeling because she's a little chihuahua. And she's the type of chihuahua who shivers when the wind blows. She likes the sun. She likes to be hot. She's a hot little dog. She's a hot dog. Anyway, it was cold in the room. They put her in a little ox box. I bet you it was colder in there too because it was like 68. They had the temperature and the oxygen percentages on the readout I was looking at. It's like, oh, they gave her 40% at first because her lungs weren't getting enough oxygen basically. And so they put her in there and she got better, a little bit better. It was 68 degrees in there. It was like a little doggy freezer for her. She was shivering, shiver. Then they gave her some calm down drugs, some happy stuff, some happy syrup. And she was like, nah. But she was still shivering. Because the shiver's like, nah, I'm a shiver. I'm sorry. I'm a chihuahua. I got to shiver. Nodding off shivering. I'm like, she okay? She's still breathing, so it's all good. They gave her some drugs. And basically, she had an enlarged heart, which caused the fluid collections in her lungs. And that's why she was having troubles. And so they gave her some shots to get the fluid to drain naturally through her body out. And, now we have her back. She's fine now. She's a little droopy. She's a little, but given what she went through yesterday, I was like, okay, you could just chill. She's like, I don't know, she's 65% what she was, but she's breathing good, so it's all good. She could be chill a little. She could be like, okay, you're one of them old dogs now. You were young yesterday. Something happened. Now, slip, slap, sloop. You're an old dog. Deal with it. Okay? We're going to treat you like an old dog. You're going to act like an old dog. And you're going to live another 15 years? 10. I'll give her 10. Because she's about 10 and a half, 11. So she could do another 10. I don't know. Doc was like, yo, it might be 6 months, it might be 12 months, depends on. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for the truth, but damn. So I was like, okay, we're gonna scoop her up and, all right, thanks. Oh, this the bill? Oh, okay. I'm not gonna mention how much it was because my brain hurts. If I added up all the monies that we spent on these damn animals. Now, I like the animals. I love them almost. Until the bill comes down. I'm like, nah, I don't know if I love you anymore. Look at this bill. They'd be like, what's that? Am I supposed to eat that? I'm a dog. I eat paper. I eat paper, right? It's like, all right, don't eat the bill. I need it for tax purpose. I don't know what I need it for. Can we do tax write-off for dogs? We don't have. Anyway, I wish there was. Maybe if we open up a non-profit for our dog. Does that work? Is that how that works? Is that how all these people get rich? By doing all these loopholes with the system? Anyway, bill was high. The bill was high. And I look at all the monies that we spend on these animals. I'm like, is it worth it? Yeah, of course it's worth it. But with the money I spent yesterday, let's put it in context. With the money I spent yesterday, I could have an Xbox One X. Wow. Xbox Series X and a graphics card, definitely. But if I add up all the monies we spent on all these animals, come on, son. I'll be rolling like what? Boom. No, okay, I'm not gonna have hydraulics on my Kia. I'm not gonna buy a Kia. Although that new Genesis SUV is kind of hot though. I ain't gonna lie. That's is it not the Sorrento? I forgot which one it was, but the Kia's coming up in the world. Anyway, it's a lot of money to own animals. I told Bridget I was in the thing. All these animals was howling and hooting, and one with a hole in it and barely shivering in the box. I was like, yeah. And then the doctor's like, yeah, this is how much it's gonna cost. And I was like, that's for 24-hour overnight. It's like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that. No, that's no. But even if I could afford that, no, we not. Nah, no. So just give me some drugs, and then send us on our way, cause this is ridiculous. This is a motherflower ridiculous. And I saw it. I was like, okay, all right. Anyway, add it all up. I texted her. I was like, saw the bill. I was like, da 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 da. Tell her the details of the docs. Telling me, also, no more pets, no more new pets. I told her. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. That I wish. I mean, some people might be like, yeah. I mean, the dog knows that you care. They know, right? I'm like, no, I don't think they know. I don't think they know. I don't think they understand the money part of what happened. I don't think they quite understand. And I don't think they realize that I am a different person than someone else isn't. Like, say if I was a narcissistic person who's like, money is everything, forget cute animals, that dog, she would have been put to sleep so quick. It's like, I think there's something wrong with her. Put her to sleep. Not even like, oh, let's see what's no. What? How much that test gonna cost? No, put her to sleep. No, I'm like, no, let's maybe she could be alright. You know what I mean? Let's see what's up. I'm not one of those persons, obviously. I have a little bit of compassion, I guess. I don't know, but it's frustrating because it's like, oh yeah, we doing good now. We getting paid. We paying all these bills and stuff. Yeah, but we did. And then go to the vet, and it's like, oh, okay. Let's just one step forward, 29 steps back. That's how this works. Okay, thanks, life. Thanks, life. What are you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get more money. That's what I'm gonna do. Time to get paid. There you go. Time to get paid. Son. That's how I look at it. It's like, look, if I'm spending more money than I'm making, then either I need to spend less money or make more money. That's how the math works. So I'm trying to. That's a long story to tell everybody who's not listening. I need more subs. So like and subscribe to the show. Actually, I'm gonna start putting out video content. So that's the first step. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna fix my microphone so it's in the right position. That's the second thing I'm gonna do, right? And the third thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna talk about E3. And also, we're gonna talk about Sony. We always gonna talk about Sony, but Sony has been getting some bad news. I mean, it's like, yo, we put out this little Horizon Forbidden West gameplay demo. It looks pretty good. It's pretty nice, right? I mean, I had Legend run out of here last week because I said I was, I guess he took offense to the stuff that's happening on Twitters. I didn't mean to make him mad or anything. I was just like, yo, this was happening. I wasn't agreeing with all the fat shaming on Aloy, however you say it. Aloha, Legend. Appreciate you popping in. I was just talking about you actually, but it's dumb what's going on. Like how the bots and the ponies do that. They pick out the little frame and they're like, oh, look how ugly it is getting. Look, oh, let me zoom in 1,000%. Look at all the ugly graphics. I'm like, y'all stupid. I mean, like, that being said though, the Halo demo with that last time, that was hot garbage for real. And I was looking at that, I was like, I mean, it looked good all the way up to the part where he actually left out of the Pelican, and then it started looking hot garbage. I was like, oh, there's little critters, and then the grass disappeared. I was like, what the hell is this bullshit? What am I watching? Is this 360 footage? What is this? But yeah. So I don't agree with all of that, but I understand that it is part of the BS that is included in the console war that we can enjoy sometimes and then have to shake our heads the other times. So, it's dumb, and that's because people are dumb. Myself included, I am dumb. But I admit it. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, but I'm a dummy. There's no denying it. I don't deny it. I mean, my dad knows I'm a dummy. He knows. My mom knows too. They both know. They're like, oh, we made you. We know what you are. Don't try to. I don't. I don't. That's why I burned the food last time. But anyway, so let's start. We will talk about the E3 prediction stuff. But what I wanted to start off with was, I'm too big. Sorry, that was bad. I want to start off with this. Full screen. I want to start off with this. This I've never seen before. This came out last year, so I'm late. This is basically the prototype stuff for Horizon Zero Dawn from when it started 10 years ago to today, present day. And I was like, oh, that's interesting to look at the evolution of how a game's made. And then it goes to Forbidden West, but they only show the first trailer. They don't show the gameplay, which is unfortunate, but it just came out, so understandable. But it's interesting, like as far as game development. If you want to be a game developer and you look at this and it's like, hey, this looks like No Man's Sky when it launched. Kind of, sort of, but not really, but kind of, sort of. It's a joke. Anyway, you see where there's like little, oh, okay, this is there, this is there. They had it. I mean, it was rough looking up until, I want to say 2015. It took them a good 4 years to get close to where it needed to be, because all of this is like, whoa. And I understand that the combat prototyping and all this the proof of concept was where it started to look like Horizon that we know. But this stuff is just like, okay, this is how the game works. So nothing has to be polished. None of the animation, none of the modeling, all that doesn't matter. This vegetation prototype, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's cool. I mean, it's 2013, so this is PS4 just launched, right? So you're like, oh, okay, that looks pretty cool. Although that's a prototype. I don't know if that's running in the actual engine. I would doubt it. That's dev kit right there, because you look at the density of all of the objects. Everything in there is basically an object, and it's like, no, there's no way. I mean, it is running at low. Hold on, let me see if my resolution is 726. I'll keep it there because I'm streaming. Oh, y'all ain't even seen it. Wait, hold up. Oh, that's. I'm like, oh, duh. I'm a dummy. Now this is the proof of concept. Now, I guess, yeah, that's ugly, but that's supposed to be like before, and then the greenery comes right there. Boom, they like merge it in. So I'm like, okay, yeah, put the vegetation on, because it doesn't look good without the vegetation. It doesn't look good. And animated grass looks pretty dope. So I ain't gonna front on that. The God Rays, I don't know how much that was in the actual game. I think it was, right? I don't remember. But still, you see, they still haven't fixed the model yet. It's still the old model that they had. And she looks more like the Brave character, the character from the movie Brave, than it does actually Aloy. But and she had a real horse. I'm trying to remember. Was she riding a real horse? No, she wasn't riding a real horse in Forbidden West, right? She was riding a mecha horse. Mecha horse, I think. Yeah, because she was riding a mecha raptor. That's right. So here's it. Here is it. So they got the dino. I don't know. What are they? The Dinobots. They got those pretty much done. That was like kind of the first thing I guessed. So it's like, all right, boom. So here you go. The demo, right? Now they got the character right. They got the kind of the lighting, the atmosphere, the environment's good. They got the wavy. So this is basically the game. Refinements, of course, to certain things, but this is basically the game that they shipped. So 2015. So 4 years it took them from early concepting, prototyping to actual, okay, yeah, the game. Here's the game. So that's about right. Yeah. And if you look at what it is, right, it's like it's model refinement, animations, not just, the Aloy model, but the enemies, the environment, all the grass and all that stuff. And I mean, Aloy, I'm gonna be real. For some reason, I think I liked that first Aloy model better than what they showed recently. I'm not sure why yet. I think I like the hair. Well, one thing is that, okay, here's one thing, and I talked about that a little bit last week, is that this game doesn't have that fake hero lighting. Basically, what they're doing, I know I said this last week, but basically what they're doing in the new game, they have a fake hero light that shines two lights. They have the basically the world light, and then they have another hero light that's on the opposite side of her head that highlights her hair and it makes it look all Hollywoody and stuff. And right here they don't have it, so she is actually feels like she's more a part of the environment because of that, because there isn't a fake light illuminating her on a side where there is no light. If you look at everything else in the environment and there's shadows and stuff, and then there's just this magical light from nowhere there, it just looks weird. It kind of separates her from the environment, which I guess could be a good thing. But most of the time, for me, it's a little bit distracting because I know it's an artistic decision and choice. But as far as merging the assets and the objects and the characters within the environment in any particular scene, that takes it away. It makes it's literally less realistic than it should be, but it's an interesting choice. I don't know if they're going to tweak that, or maybe there's a way they could turn it on and off, because like if she's in a dark spot, or if she's in shadow and that light's still there, it really looks bad. But if she's in the daylight, it's like okay, I could that's fine, you know. But like you see here, the light's coming from there, shadows, and you know, this is realistic kind of lighting based on the environment lighting, and so it feels, you know, she feels like she's there, and it feels like to me like they did that hero lighting only to make it seem like there's something extra, something special, and not having I guess true ray tracing on her character. Like I think there's environmental GI, but I don't think that there's actual full ray tracing in Horizon Forbidden West, only because PlayStation doesn't do hardware ray tracing. It does basically what the Unreal Engine 5 does. It's a global illumination. That's when I say GI, that's what that means. Global illumination system where it fakes it basically. It's I know I said this last week, but real quick, they just have a rough geometry that reflects where, you know, if there's a tree here, they'll have a rough geometry of the tree, which will be just like a cylinder or whatever, or not even a cylinder, but something more simple that's like a plane or whatever that'll reflect the light without you seeing the actual object that reflects it, but it gives it that same effect, but it's less rays, and it's less geometry that is actually bouncing off of. So it saves on performance, and it gives you a similar look and feel of ray tracing without it actually being ray tracing. So it's a fake ray tracing lumen, you know. But I mean, like here, you can see the hero light is right here. I said this last week too, but there's a hero light. Like, let me pause right there. Pause it. So the light is here. We see the light on this side. Zoom, boom, 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 right? Now you look here, there's shadows on this side, shadows on this side, shadow on this side, right? Even this character is in the correct shadow, but this character, which is the main character, the key character, if you want to call it that, you have the actual light, and then you have this weird, what the hell is this light here? Oh my gosh, you know? And that's what the whole game does on the on Aloy. And so it's like, okay, you know. It was a choice. It wasn't like here. It isn't there. But the underwater thing, I think, is a little different than underwater things. Legend says SG says I can't play Horizon Dawn because of the lighting. Yeah, but the lighting though. No, I'm not. What am I saying? You can't play it. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that I think there's the lighting. There's the lighting. That's the hero lighting I'm talking about. Now, I think what they could do. And then I'm taking this from a director of photography point of view. You know, director of photography are in charge of lighting scenes, basically. You know, he's camera's here, the character is here. You need your light here. You need a key light here. You need key light here. You need a ring light here. Bounce light here. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Field light here. Blah blah blah. So that's what the DOF does, the director of photography. DOP. The DP, Jesus. So anyway, this light here makes sense. Boom. This light here doesn't make sense. But they could still have that, but I think they need to tone it. I think it's just too strong. It's not as strong as this, yes, no. But if they want to fake global illumination or some reflecting off of something back here or something, like boom, back to on her back. I mean, it's way too, look, I mean, this is all lit up. That's not how light works. So I'm just saying, it may look cool to, I guess, the layman, or like, oh, that looks awesome, right? But you know what it feels like? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like, and why I have a problem with it. It feels like she is on green screen and the background is just fake. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous because it's a video game. Everything's fake. But that's what it feels like. Like they lit her a certain way to look cool, and then they threw her on this background with just one light there, and they're like, oh, well, the lights don't work. Not really, but it still looks cool, right? That's what it feels like to me. Like the lighting doesn't match the actual environment, and that's where I'm like, Legend says, I never heard anyone bitch about something so inconsequential. No. Listen. Legend. I'm just pointing out little fine details. It's not inconsequential because they're touting it as one of the features in the PS5 version. That's what Herman Holtz said in that interview. He said, yeah, we got the hero lights that can follow her all around. And I'm like, you acting like that's a real good thing, or that's a feature of the PS5 version. That's what you're getting. And I was like, okay, sure. I mean, it looks cool, but like I said, too much, Anyway, that's the end of this part. But yeah, we close that one. Bye, Alloy. So I wanted to look at these things, these predictions, before we talk about the whole crazy thing about everybody realizing that there's a reason why Lion Jim Ryan got his name, and Herman Holtz is setting the record straight. Now everybody's like, oh, Sony lied, blah, blah. We'll talk about that later, because I don't want to say I told you so. But I kind of told you so. I was saying, man, they lying. Y'all just like that, don't you? I guess, I don't know. And it's like, and it's funny looking at like Crab Gamer and all these fools out there like, oh, I'm not that mad. Like, what? It's pretty funny. Anyway, we talk about predictions. Let's talk about predictions. Now, I got these two websites up there. I got Windows Central, which is like, oh, Xbox, everything, because Windows, whatever. That's Jez Corden, right? And I got IGN, which is the best place to get. No, it's not. But they decided this was under the E3 predictions place on Google. Sony might skip E3 2021. Here are predictions on what we could see. The game lineup for PlayStation is stacked. I'm like, this is about E3. They're not going to be at E3. Why are you putting up the thing for Sony when they're not going to be at E3? I don't understand. But yeah, that was that. So let's go through the Xbox one real quick, because it's not going to be a fast one, because it's just like, oh, okay. We'll just read the underlined part. Who cares? Starfield, Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite. You want to talk about that real quick? I have zero expectations for Halo Infinite. The Halo Infinite, Halo tends to be the sum of its parts. It's never like, oh, this part is excellent and this part is like the past two games. One part is good, one part is bad. One part is good, one part is bad. Right? It's not like both parts are awesome, right? So, I mean, if they got the story good, if they got the story straight on Halo Infinite, and the way that I think they're going to actually have Halo Infinite is going to be more of a Destiny model, where there'll be substantial updates to the game as time goes on. So 10 years, they said it was going to 10-year game. So, in another, 6 to 12 months, they'll have a DLC or an update or whatever, season, whatever. So it'll be like, oh, this is the Locke mission, where they show where what's his name killed Locke and put his head on his shoulder or something. I don't know. I think Locke's supposed to be dead in this. Well, one of the brutes has his helmet on his armor, so I would assume that Locke got. You know what I mean? But anyway, Halo, I think it'll be good. But I mean, as far as like Joseph Staten going back in and kind of steering the ship, I think that it's in good hands. If anything, I don't know. It just says, you're playing a game in the world torn apart by its own technology, ravaged by machine animals slapped together with duct tape and hot glue. Really? I thought there were more than that. In a brilliant, beautiful world, scavenging for supplies taking down mecha dinosaurs. Oops. One second. Amazing agility, accuracy, arrow shots, and SG hates the hero lighting. So the game's. I didn't say. See you. Why are you putting words in my mouth? I didn't say the game is garbage. I didn't say that. This is what I'm gonna think. This is what I'm gonna say about Horizon Forbidden West. I think it is the perfect sequel to the first game, Horizon Forbidden Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it's the perfect, as far as how it looks, change of environment, the improvements they have in animation and enemy variety from what we've seen. I think it's the perfect sequel. I think it's the perfect sequel if you put it in the context of this is a PS4 game. Remember, this is now. Don't get mad at me, Legend. I'm not trying to diss nobody. Nothing. This is the facts of the facts. This game was made as a PS4 game. Yes, you can play a PS5 version, but technically it is a PS4 game first. And then they said, okay, let's port it up and let's add some stuff. Let's add some hero lights and some GI and make it. So if this game looks like the first game, right, without the hero lights and all that stuff, but it still plays the same, which I will assume it does because there's a part. I closed it already, but there's a part where she was fighting. I think it was part of the first gameplay demo in the first game where she was fighting the I forgot, there was something that was throwing rocks or something, and it hit one of the cabins and it broke apart. It broke apart just like the elephant structure that was on top of the elephant at the beach. It was the same. It wasn't the same exact anime, but it was the same feeling. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that was from the first game. It looked just like it. That's cool. So I'm like, I'm looking at this game like, I mean, they tightened up some stuff. They improved some things. But is it a super huge leap from the first game? I'm going to say no. But it's enough of a jump to be like, all right, this isn't just like a quick little money grab or, a palette change or something like that. It's, they did some work. So I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. So that's where I say it's a not adequate, because that's not even good enough. It's an appropriate, not even acceptable, because that's not good enough either. It's an appropriate sequel to what the first game was. Now, my question and my curiosity lies in the PS4 version, because that's probably the version I will play, because I will probably get a PS4 version sometime. I mean, I got like 3 years to get a PS4 so I could play these games that could be coming out for PS4 the next 3 years. It's 2021, so it's 2.5, 3 years. There's still going to be God of War, Horizon, all Gran Turismo 7, all PlayStation 4 games, so I'm good. You know what I mean? And that's a whole thing with the line and stuff. We'll get to that. But yeah. Let's say, so what do you call an Xbox Series X game that's coming out 5 months? That's coming out 5 months. It's a Xbox game, because they like whatever. We don't believe in generations. What did Phil Spencer say about generations? He didn't say we don't believe in generations. He said I think video or consoles have gone past generations. He said something like that. He said the opposite of what Jim Ryan said, where he's like, we believe in generations, and then you see what happened, Legend. Now, like I said, I'm not your adversary, and I'm not trying to diss Sony or anything like that. I'm just saying this is what's happening right now. Xbox has said it from the beginning. We gonna support Xbox One for a couple of years, 2 years or something like that. And everybody's like, oh man, Xbox sucks, man. Y'all suck, because you could be holding back. You gonna be holding back the Xbox Series Series X, because the Xbox One, they should make Halo just for next gen, because blah 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 blah. Right? Xbox got all the heat. Phil got all the heat. Meanwhile, your boy Jim Ryan's chilling in the back like, I think I'm not gonna say nothing right now. I think I let them take all the heat. Oh, wow, he's Australian or something. Anyway, Len says here, dumping on Horizon for not putting out a next-gen game, but Xbox get a pass, and they aren't putting out nothing right now. No. Xbox doesn't give a pass. Xbox does not Xbox doesn't get a pass. Now, look, I'm not one of these bots out there that's going to be like, yeah, Sony sucks and Xbox is great. No. All of them is crazy. All of them is crooked. All of them got issues. I already know what Xbox's issues are and were, right? And they're making moves to try to alleviate some of the shortcomings that they've had in the past, right? So they got all these studios, they working on something. I got something to look forward to, I think, at least. On Xbox, I'm like, all right, they got some stuff that I'm like, okay, Fable looking, I'm already, Forza Horizon, I'm down to clown, whatever. I'm old. That's my number one franchise right now because I'm a dumbass. Halo's like, all right, I'll play it, whatever, but I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. Psychonauts 2, I'll play it, even though that's multiplayer, but I'll play it because I'm playing through the first one. I'm like, yo, this is a pretty good game. It's an old-ass game, but it's still pretty good. So, I know what's up. Sony be like, yo, they be throwing some magic tricks, smoking. They be They be doing some stuff. So, here's what I'll say about. It's really about Sony. Now, Xbox can do this too, but I don't expect them to do this. They could do this, and honestly, it would probably be better if they did do this, but I don't expect them to because everybody's trying to save money, try to make the most money, blah, 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 right? That's the model, right? Make money, don't spend a lot of money, right? With Horizon Forbidden West and with Gran Turismo 7 and with God of War Ragnarok, what Sony should do, this is what Sony should do. This is what Xbox should do for Halo Infinite in particular and any other game that's going to be cross-gen that's coming out for the X and One, right? The series. In particular, let's just talk about Horizon Forbidden West or GT7 or God of War Ragnarok, whatever. Next-gen games. PS5 games should be PS5 games, right? So you say you make a PS5 version. No. You make a PS5 version of this title, right? It's called Horizon Forbidden West for PS5, and then you have a separate title that is Horizon Forbidden West for the PS4. They are not the same game. Fundamentally, they are. Yes, the same story or whatever. But let's say in Horizon Forbidden West on PS5, you can fly because you can do this on this new system because you couldn't do this on the PS4. That's what the devs were complaining about. Oh, we wanted to fly and have a lot of flying enemies and stuff, but we couldn't because the PS4 can handle it. I'm like, all right, well, PS5's coming up, so it's going to be on, right? Nope. We can't do it now because we made it be a bugger, but there's a PS4 game that's just got real pretty on PS4. I'm like, come on, man. Just make a PS5 version. They won't do it because they need to save money, production costs, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, if you want to be for real, look, this is not even unprecedented. Shadow of Mordor did it. All right, they had the Nemesis system on the Xbox One and PS4, and on the 360, they did not have that system because the 360 couldn't do it. Perfect example. And guess what? The later generation game was the game to buy, was the game to play, was the game to say, yo, I should get me an Xbox One or PS4 because that old stuff is kind of hot. That's why you don't get it and you get the new one. It's literally a commercial to, oh, snap, that's what the new version does? Let me give me a PS5 real quick. But they're not even doing that. And I'm like, you putting in hero lights and underwater zibby zabbies? Wow, great, thanks. It's basically the same game with some graphics jammies turned off. I'm like, just take some more time and add some more things that would make it differentiate from the PS4 version to give people a reason and not hate the things that they said before, because they said, oh, we believe in generations. If they did what I just said, if they differentiated those two versions, that statement would still be true. Jim Ryan would not be a liar. He'd be like, I told y'all we believed in generations because look, the PS5 version is way better. You can't do all these. You can't fly on the Tyrannosauruses on the PS4 version because it can't do it. Sorry. You know, and that's the thing. Xbox can do the same thing with Halo Infinite. It's like, yo, make it super open world on the Xbox Series, on an Xbox One X and all that. Just make segmented, put a big old hole with a bridge that you gotta load or a tunnel or something. Y'all know how to make games. Come on. Y'all know what's up. Let's go. Get the elevator going. Come on, let's go. Do what you gotta do. I'm just saying. It's not impossible because it has already been done. So I'm like, what's the excuse? For real. What's the excuse? For Sony, I think they were gonna make the pick. They needed to make the game to get it out early in this next generation, so they made it a PlayStation 4 version. They couldn't design it for a PlayStation 5 because they didn't have PlayStation 5s yet. They didn't know what it was gonna be at that point. 4 years ago. So, Led says, yeah, but on the other shoe, Xbox not putting out any games. I'd rather have a game that they get it out than a game that doesn't. No, I agree 1,000%. And that's one of the main things that's killing Microsoft right now is that they ain't got no games. Xbox got no games is still true right now. But like I said, they got the soldiers and they in the barracks and they're eating their little mashed potatoes and they're drinking their rations. They're training. They're waiting for that day when the siren sounds, when they're called off for duty. You know what I mean? Thank you, Ed. I appreciate. So let's keep going through this instead of rambling. So yeah, whatever. Starfield. This is real quick. Oh, screenshot of Starfield. Okay, let's. Halo Infinite, it'll be whatever. It's a big deal, but for me, it's not a super big deal. I'm not a Halo head like that, but I do play through the campaigns. I might look into Forge because I didn't realize a lot of people are playing Halo Master Chief Collection because of Forge, and there's so many different variant games that are like game types that are made in Forge. It's basically like Roblox except Halo. It's basically like Grand Theft Auto Online except Halo. They got all these different games that you could play. It's like, I was like, all right, you know what? I didn't know y'all had all these crazy playlists. I saw a video. I was like, what? Okay, I might have to check it out. So I'm definitely curious about Halo Infinite's Forge. I want to see what that is, and I might get into that because I never really did before. I tried to build a level one time, and I was like, okay, I mean, it's not super easy, intuitive, but it's not super difficult either. So I'm like, if I stuck with it, I could probably do something kind of cool. But I was like, it's super like it's a super, at the time, it was a super closed in kind of, not super wide popular. Anyway, whatever. Starfield. I'm interested in Starfield because of the fact that we don't know nothing. We know very little. Old screenshots leaked from 2018, 3 years ago. So I'm like, okay. Even if it doesn't come out this year, it comes out next year, it doesn't matter. Like look, Cyberpunk has set the precedent that you put out your game early and it's hot garbage and people hate it. So delay it until it's good. That's what's up. That stands for God of War Ragnarok 2. So there's no hate on that. Legend says, wouldn't you like to play an Xbox last gen but upgraded Skyrim right now versus a next gen full-fledged Skyrim in another year or two from now? No. I would rather play a new Elder Scrolls 6. 9? What are they on? Not 6. I'd rather play a new Elder. I don't want to play Skyrim again. I'd rather play a new game. And that's the whole point. That's what they're doing. We already have a upgraded Skyrim. So would I rather have a next gen Skyrim? That's a little bit of overkill. That's like, okay, that's a remake at that point. And that makes no sense to have a remake for Skyrim. Yeah, so they need to, if they're going to make something like that, they're going to make something else. And maybe Skyrim is part of the larger map. So it's literally Skyrim inside of a bigger, maybe they have Skyrim and what are the other lands that were, I don't even remember what they're called. Just a bigger map, who knows. But I don't want a next gen, quote unquote next gen, a next gen Skyrim. I don't want that. I want a new game. That's the point of that. Like I said, Forza Horizon. I was looking at screenshots of Forza Horizon 4. that game still looks beautiful. I'm like, yo, Microsoft has some sneaky MVP studios that people are sleeping on. Like, Playground Games is one of them. Okay, they got Forza locked. Forza Horizon is the favorite casual racing game, arcadey type racing game. Is fun as hell. I could play it all day. If I had like a kind of a goal, say, okay, I want to get all the cars in Forza, I'd be playing that. I would be playing it every day, because how they do the seasons and they have the season challenges and all that stuff. You can win cars when you complete certain challenges. So it's just like different races and they just mix it all up. And I'm like, yo, and every week is a season. So it's so smart what they did. I don't do it because I'm like, I don't, unless it was a cool car I wanted. I was like, you know what, I might, instead of trying to go and buy it in the store, you could just, they have car packs too. But I'm like, I've never bought a car pack. I've only bought the Hot Wheels expansion and the Lego expansion. And the Lego expansion was I like the Hot Wheels expansion better. But the Lego expansion was alright because it was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like Legos, yeah, alright. But I like the Hot Wheels better. You got to hit the iron. You got to hit while the iron's hot. You can't wait for it to be a nostalgic kick to play a game. No, yeah, that's true. That's why I think they've been kind of putting out Skyrim Forever. Skyrim Forever should be the next game. But at some point you're like, okay, you get a newer game to replace the older game, and that's kind of like the consoles. You get a newer PlayStation 5 to replace the PlayStation 4. And if things weren't so crazy, then it would have done that already, and Sony wouldn't be in this position where they're like, oh, we believe in generations, but not really, psych. It wouldn't be that. It would be something different. Legend says Halo is nostalgic right now because ain't nobody played a new Halo in quite a few years. That's true, but they're still playing Halo Master Chief Collection. And like I said, I think a lot of people are playing the playlist stuff, the made from the community stuff. I was looking at it and I was like, yo, that's crazy. Anyway, there is definitely a nostalgic factor when it comes to Halo. And that's the trick, right? How do you make a new Halo that's now... I did miss one of your messages? My bad. Iron... Oh, here it is. I'm saying that's where we differ. I'd rather have a game out now that I can play that's got a few upgrades than have a next-gen full-fledged game in a matter of years from now. Yeah, I can see that. But the problem with that, right? Sorry about missing that. The problem with that is the problem that Sony's going to have. And that, yes, you're going to get a Horizon Forbidden West. You're going to get a God of War Ragnarok. You're going to get GT7 next year sometime, whenever. I'm saying Horizon is going to be pushed to next year just to be safe, because it just makes sense with everything. Everybody's working from home and all that stuff. It just makes sense for them to push it. Don't be stressing out your devs, right? But, yes, it's better to play games now, of course. But you have to realize that the first Horizon took 11, came out 2016, right? So it took 5 years. So we assume that it's not going to take 5 years for... Legend says Horizon's not going to be pushed. You trip. I'm just saying to be safe. I mean, they say it might come out, but they're like iffy about it. And if that's the fact, if they're iffy about it, it means one of two things. It means they could probably get it out if they crunch like crazy to get it out, or they could be humane and say, let's just get it out next year, take our time, not kill ourselves. That's what I'm saying. So don't kill your devs, Sony. Guerrilla, don't kill them. But Horizon took 5 years. God of War Ragnarok's 4 years from the 2018 game. So let's assume 4 years it takes them to make a PlayStation 5 game from the scratch, right? It's going to be 5 years from next year. It's going to be 2027 when you're actually seeing these games that can take advantage of the PlayStation 5. By then, there will be a new PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 Pro, probably, if not a PlayStation 6. So it's almost like we're skipping a whole generation because they're not taking advantage of the actual hardware. But here's my other thing about that is that I don't think the PlayStation 5 is as strong or capable as people think it is. And that's why these PlayStation 4 games that are slightly upgraded are the move to make right now, because what is taking advantage of the PlayStation 5? Is it Ratchet and Clank with just the fast load times and all that stuff, and it, helps with the design of levels? I think that's the only thing that they have, because everything else is like, why is it 1080? Why is Returnal 1080p? That doesn't sound like next gen. And once again, I'm not doing this to try to diss or dig at Sony. I'm actually asking the question, why can't they have Returnal at a higher resolution, even though that's not the most important thing? Art design and all that stuff, lighting is more important. But how can I be hyped or amped about a true PlayStation 5 game when they put out Returnal and it's 1080p 60? And I'm like, huh? Do y'all have any? Is it the dev that can't squeeze the juice out of it to make? I don't know what it is. So, Legend says they're holding back the release date for E3. They're not being iffy. I don't know. And I think they're gonna. They'll do something after E3 because they're technically not part of E3. But that's a whole nother thing. If you look at the industry, right? Video game industry. E3 is an entity. E3 is the electronic. It's Electronic Entertainment Expo, but the E3 commission, the ESA, is who runs E3, right? And there are a bunch of big companies that are part of the ESA as the board, I guess. Microsoft is one. I would assume Activision. I don't actually know who are the board members of EA, but I know Sony isn't one of them, and I know Nintendo isn't one of them, so it's not a big deal for them not to be there, right? So that's one reason why they're not there. Two, it's too much money to be a part of that stuff. They're out of their minds. The ESA needs to change. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to wake up, because that's not millions of dollars for a booth. No, that's not how that works anymore. You need to stop doing that. And it's been proven. I'm glad in a way that the pandemic happened, in that it shows, not in just video games, but it shows across many industries that all this excess waste of, we got to rent this space and have this nice, lights and stuff in this nice conference room. And they don't need that. They don't need that. We're in the future. Believe it or not, COVID pushed us into the future in a way. It forced the internet to be better. Well, technically it's not, but, But them not being part of E3 is a detriment to video games as a whole, because they are an important part of video games. And them saying, nah, forget it, it's like them turning their back. Like, it's like if the Patriots or the the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, was like, nah, son, we the best team in the league, but we ain't doing the Super Bowl this year. Y'all go ahead. Y'all play y'all little stupid game. Nah, we not doing the Super Bowl. We know we the best, but nah. Now we gonna have our own game or whatever. We'll have a little party or something, a parade, but we're not doing the Super Bowl. So why? E3 is literally, in America, the Super Bowl of video games, right? It's a bad analogy, but it's the only analogy I got. So, where all the good stuff comes, the cool commercials, the cool trailers, the cool announcements. That's what it's for. Even though it's not a place of physical engagement or, collecting, whatever, physically getting together, it's still there. It's still online. It's still a thing. It's an entity within itself. And technically, it's not necessary, but it's good for the industry as a whole. Because it's like I said, it's like the 4th of July. It's like a celebration of video games, And Jeff Keighley and all these other companies can emulate it and do it, but E3 was the first, And it doesn't take a lot to keep it alive. It just needs the right people to give it. Honestly, I would say to the ESA, I would say you need to give E3 to Jeff Keighley. give it to him. Say, look, Jeff, you got the video game awards. You run an E3. You the boss. You are the CEO of E3, whatever you want to call it. It's yours, baby. Do what you got to do. And let him do it. Let him do it. Because he's doing a pretty good job with the Game Awards. So he could do E3 plus the Game Awards, or he could do E3 and the Game Awards and still be, it can still be all good. It could still have beneficial effects on everyone, and because E3 is in June and the Game Awards is in December, it's like a nice space. It's like 6 months, boom, you get, it just makes more sense than having like what happened last year, where it's like 1 week is this, and then next week we're gonna have this. It's like y'all just dragging this out with some mediocre ass announcements. Nobody cares anymore. I mean, there was some good news, some crazy big banger newses, and they announced the Series X in 2019 on the Game Awards, and that was tight. I was like, yo, that was nap. And that's what I'm saying. They can both live together. But, like I said, like a lot of people say, it's not super important, but I think they should keep it alive. It just needs to change. It doesn't need to be. The main thing is all that money that these companies have to spend to be in a physical space doesn't make any sense. ESA needs to change that 1,000,000,000%. Make it a fraction of the price. Make it literally what it should cost. Why are you charging millions of dollars to these companies? Because they can pay? Yes, they have the money. They can pay, but are they willing to pay? Is it worth them paying all this money when they can do it on Twitter and pay zero money comparably? It's like, you think, I compared it to the Super Bowl, right? And all these companies go in the Super Bowl and they're like, yo, we want a Super Bowl ad real quick. And they got to spend $2 million for 30 seconds or something. And it's like, nah, E3 ain't the Super Bowl. It is, but that's not how it should work. And it's just ridiculous. Anyway, we'll keep moving on here. Psychonauts 2, I'm looking forward to that because it is, it's, like I said, I was playing the first one. The second one looks cool. It has a cool kind of art style. I think it's really the writing that's pretty dope. But I just hope that they fix the controls, because the controls are a little rough in some sections on the second. That's the first one. But this is the picture I was talking about. That's Forza Horizon 4. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty that is, man. That's a screenshot. Well, honestly, that's the photo mode. I'm pretty sure that's the photo mode. But still good looking. Game looks. Flight Simulator. That's a cool little toy. It's not a toy, but it's kind of cool. Sea of Thieves. I'll be interested to see what they do. I don't play Sea of Thieves, but I'm interested to see what they do with that. I do need to get back into Grounded. I haven't played that in a couple of months. Age of Empires. I don't care. Tunic. I will play. It's kind of like Zelda. Sure. The Ascent, I want to play. I'm not too into isometric type of games, so it's a twin stick shooter. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Cuphead's DLC, I'll play it, but that game's so hard. I'm like, I get depressed. I'm like, I suck at games, and I just quit because I keep getting killed. Stalker 2, I'll play. I'll see what is up. As far as these other games that are further out, presumably. Perfect Dark, I'm definitely interested. Perfect Dark. Okay, let's just talk about Perfect Dark for a second. Perfect Dark it's in the position where it can actually be one of those God of War 2018 type of deals where it's like, okay, it's an old franchise. We made it for today now. Now it's way better. Now it's look at that. Look at them graphics and all that good stuff, right? So I'm curious. Perfect Dark Zero was like kind of hot garbage, but compared to the original, I didn't get into the original, but not really. Bridget says, I really like your reasoning for continuing E3. She really likes my reasoning for continuing E3. I can't read. There she is again. She's in YouTube. You're everywhere, aren't you, Bridget? It's good. It's always really about Sony with USG. Yes, it is. Well, I'm talking. Anyway, that was probably a while ago. I just noticed that. Sorry. Thank you. Anyway, Perfect Dark, I'm interested. Fable, super duperly interested. I have faith in Playground Games. I just hope they don't go too. I mean, they can get silly like how the trailer was where the toad ate the fairy. I was like, okay, you know what? That's pretty dark. It's kind of funny. I think I can get down with that. But I would say graphics wise, give us a little bit more. I mean, make it. It doesn't have to be as big feet and stuff like that. But the art style was okay in the original. But I don't know. Change it up a little bit. State of Decay, the trailer looked cool, but I know it's not gonna look that good. We'll see. Hellblade 2, that's gonna be interesting. The story, I'm interested in what they do with like how to expand the mechanics. I think they doubled their team size on the second one. I'm just interested in everything about that game compared to the first one. That's what's up. Obsidian is ridiculous. I just saw a screenshot of the armor of Avowed. I was like, yeah, what? Let me see if I can find that. Avowed. I wish I could spell armor. R. Oh boy. Armor has two M's. Armor. Oh my gosh, I can't spell armor. Armor leak. Is that it? I don't know. Allegedly, this is art design. Is that it? Let me see. Reddit. Great. Click to see. Yes, give me. Okay, that's the enemy. That's not the one I saw. No, Reddit sucks. Okay, go back. Let me see if they have images. Images! This is the one I saw. I saw this one. And I was like, oh, it's some error. Oh boy. English. That's great. I know I'm using that block because I don't want your freaky crazy. Okay. Anyway, that's it. NeoGAF. We could do NeoGAF. Is it gonna come up? You know what? Screw it. I'm just using the images. Anyway. This is the one. Right here. And I was like, that looks okay. That looks not bad. What's this one? In the country. Avowed Obsidian Games. So I'm like, okay. I'm all right with that. That's cool. I mean, it's brightly colored, so I'm like, okay. I don't quite know what the story is with Avowed, so we'll see. But that'll be cool. Grounded. I'll get back to it. It's not like I need to, because what was happening, I kept playing it, and they would do like a little bit of a update, and I was like, I just can't. Let me just stop. Let me wait until they put a whole bunch of stuff, open up the whole yard, the grill. There's a shed in the back. I want to go inside the house. I want all this stuff. So I'm waiting. I'm going to wait. There was a rumor about Outer Worlds 2. I'll definitely play that because the first one was lit, if you will. It slapped. It was good. Project Typhoon, have no idea. And Project Dragon, have no idea. We'll see. I mean, those are, code names, so we'll see about those. Battlefield 6 being on Game Pass. I mean, if it's on Game Pass, I'll check it out. But I'm not a Battlefield guy. Scarlet Nexus, I played the demo. It's alright. It's not bad. It's actually not, it's an anime game. Let's say that it's an anime game, and it's not bad. I mean, it's not like this is the best. It's like, okay, this feels like an old school game, but with like some new school sneakers or something. Like, all right, you got dressed up or something. This ain't bad. I mean, it's not super dope, but it's like it has a little bit of that Japanese DNA, of course. But I mean, and that may be like a kind of a plus for some people, but I'm like, it's okay. Game Pass, handheld Xbox, nothing. That's it. Okay, bye. Let's get to the Sony stuff here, because IGN's the best source for news. So it says Sony might skip E3. Here are predictions on what we could see instead. The game lineup for PlayStation is stacked. Now, I mean, that's a little hyperbolic, because HH said they got 25 titles, right? Now, I'm going to say that's everything that hasn't been released. So Ratchet & Clank, Horizon, GT7, God of War. That's 4 of the 25. I already named 4 of the 25, right? So you got 21 games left. So you got What what is it called? It's Project Athena, but they call it Forsaken, whatever it's called. That's another one. I'm gonna assume the timed exclusives are part of this as well. So Deathloop and Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo, 7 games out of the 25. So you got 18 left. Now that's not including little games, little baby indie games and stuff like that. So we already know about the 7. So we can put those aside. And I'm going to assume that was first and third. Those are all the games. First and third party games. Because Sony only has about 13, 14 studios. Now, technically, some studios could do 2 games. Obviously, that's true. But that also means there'll be smaller games. Not going to be huge games. So they're not going to all be AAA bangers, right? You got Japan studios closed down or absorbed into Asobi, right? And they made Astro's Playroom, which is dope. I'm not going to say it's whack, but they need to make a bigger game with that character or something along the lines of a Ratchet and Clank. Not like Ratchet and Clank, but give us an Astrobot adventure that's the size, scope, hype, quality of Ratchet and Clank. Because Ratchet and Clank right now, is the bar. They're setting the bar with that, which is fine. A little disappointing because of what it is. It's a 3D platformer shooter game. It's a very old type of game with new clothes on, with a new engine, with a new upholstery, new paint job, it's tinted windows, new sound system. Everything's better in it. Not debating that, but it's an old ass game that really isn't super popular right now. The only reason why it's getting all the yums and stuff is A, it's a Sony exclusive, so they get the Sony push, and B, it looks beautiful. It looks really good. So it's all about them graphics, son. And they're using the SSD in a very smart way. So you can't hate on Insomniac. Insomniac's the hardest working studio that Sony got right now. Hardest working. They putting out bangers. Everybody else is like, we'll take 5, 6. Insomniac like, 2 years, we knock it out, son. We good. Boom. So I think Insomniac's MVP on Sony side. Let's be real. Guerrilla's good, but you look at the output. You look at Miles Morales plus Ratchet and Clank versus Horizon Forbidden West. Insomniac got it all day, son. I don't know what Naughty Dog's doing, but still don't matter. Insomniac got it. They put out 2 bangers real quick. Y'all are falling behind. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hey, I give Insomniac MVP. Runner up is right now it's got to be Guerrilla because Naughty Dog is like, what they doing? Who knows? Legend says we just got an Astrobot adventure that's a pack-in and it's amazing. Yeah, it is. And honestly, it was smart what they did because Astrobot's Playroom, that's what it's called, is it was literally a tool, an internal tool for the internal studios to play, to see how to use the controller stuff, the haptic feedback and stuff. That's what it was for. And then they said, let's put it out as a game. I was like, okay. So it worked. That's smart. It's smart. And as a pack-in, it's smart too. So that was a good move. But I mean, there's only so much you can do when it comes to that type of stuff. You can be good-willed and, oh, that's cool. It's dope. But, how many times are you going to play Astrobot? Not that many times. You're not going to play it for a year. And that's the thing. Sony's trying to, I think what they're going to show after E3 is done, so they can get all the shine, is they're going to show their battle royale, not PlayStation All-Stars battle royale, but an actual battle royale game that is it going to be first person? No, it won't be. The Uncharted multiplayer games and the Last of Us, those are third person, right? So that's what it's going to be. I think that's what Insomniac and Naughty Dog. That's what Naughty Dog is working on. I think they're working on their standalone multiplayer game, I think it's gonna be a battle royale game. They're trying to get into that, you know. And I think that's the greatest weakness that Sony has is that kind of multiplayer. I don't want to say games as a service because that's got a negative connotation, but it's a live game that lives for years, you know, and it has that. It has a. I was gonna say, the word in my mind is auxiliary, but that's not the word I want to use. But it has that reoccurring business model where, you know, they have a store, you can buy cosmetics, or, you know, whether it's Fortnite or Minecraft or Roblox, they all have this marketplace where you can, you know, the game is supported for years and years and years, and that's what's up. That's what Sony doesn't have right now. You know, that's why they did that whole deal with Epic. They're like, yeah, no, crossplay? Nah, y'all got to give us some money. I'm like, yo, that's the most messed up. If I was a dev, okay, I'm part of a dev team, but you know what I'm saying. If I was a solo dev and I was trying to go to Sony, it's like, yo, I want to do crossplay, right? And they were like, yeah, you got to sign this and you got to pay us if we don't get all the monies and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh? How does... What? I would say no. I'd say no. I'd be like, you know, I'm looking at Game Pass. And I'm like, yo, they're going to give me a big ass check just for being over there. And you trying to charge me extra if they don't... I'm like, how is that? That's not... Forget about consumer friendly practices. That's dev. That's not even... That's dev, negative dev practices. It's dev detrimental practice. I don't know what the words are. No, that's not... I thought the PlayStation was the place to go. All the devs love PlayStation. I guess except for Epic, because they got so much money. And man, I when I read that, I was so disappointed. But I know I talked about that last week, so let's keep it moving. So, the Sony prediction. There's their hero light. That's the real light, and then this light right here. Like, what is that? Is there two moons? Wait, this is the Earth. There ain't two moons. Is the moon out and the sun's out at the same time? This ain't right. Is there snow? Oh, there is snow. Is there a big snow ice wall behind and you can't see it? And that's why the light. That's all I'm saying. We're not going back there anyway. All right. God of War sequel delayed. Yeah. Where did I see? Oh no. I looked at this. This was dumb. This was the dumbest thing I've seen. Because this was old. When did this freaking article come out? Where's the... Oh, here it is. June 2nd. Okay, this is June 2nd. I don't know when this came out, but these are all the games for this year, basically. It's not. I'm not even going through it because it's a dumb list. Dumb game. Okay, let's go through it real quick. A bunch of dumb games. Scott Pilgrim. That's whatchamacallit. Game I never heard of. That game. But see, this is old before. They didn't even... The rumor that it's going to be on PlayStation 5 as well. The medium. So that's a whole nother thing. All these other games. Werewolf was garbage. Neo 2, Nightmares, Mario. It's garbage. Garbage. That was okay, but the garbage. Look at all this garbage. Look at all this garbage. Wait, what was this one? Near Replicant. Jesus. Look, see? Oh, Returnal was there. There's Returnal. Yeah. See? All these games that came out. So if we go to... so Chivalry 2, I guess, is the game that's coming out in 2 days. Right? And then Guilty Gear Strive. Right? Oh, yeah. That's Ratchet & Clank. That's probably the best game on this list. Back for Blood. Okay, maybe that's pretty good, too. Look at that face. New World. I don't even know what that is. Looks like an MMO to me. And Mario Golf. Get out of here. Hot garbage list. Anyway, that's not the Sony list. That's just the 2021 list. So let's keep it real. I think they should show some gameplay of Thor. Wow. God of War Ragnarok. Something like a CG or something. So Ratchet and Clank for Predator West. Final Fantasy 7. So we talked about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It's good. I always said they can do a PS4 version, but they would just have to change how those rifts work. It would just have to be a loading animation screen. It would take longer, but it could still work. Horizon Forbidden West. We talked about that. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16. I'm not... Yeah, Forspoken. I don't care too much about Final Fantasy. I know a lot of people do, so I'm not going to hate on Final Fantasy, but I'm just not. I'm a Fantasy Star dude myself, but saying that, I've graduated, if you will. I've moved on from JRPGs to, what Bethesda's doing, even though they're janky as hell when they come out. But Skyrim, like Oblivion was the first one I played. I was like, okay, this is hot. And then I played Skyrim. I was like, all right, they got better. So the next one's going to be dope. But Starfield's kind of filling that void too. So I'm like, So JRPGs, even though they look pretty and stuff, it's like, can I just watch the movies? Because that's all it basically really kind of boils down to. I mean, yes and no. I'm reducing it down to what it's a little bit less than what it should be. But Forspoken looks interesting. But let me read this. While a PS5 exclusive, it's likely we'll hear more about Forspoken at Square Enix's own event. We got updates for Forspoken, blah, 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 blah. So it would make sense to see these games together. Another update at the president. Okay, that's not what I wanted to read. Wait a second, my brain. Hold up. That's not the... Is this the... Hold on. I read something. Yeah, that's where's her name. That's what's her name. That's the actor that's playing... Totally forgot. I just showed it, so whatever. And she got a little... Which is good. But, yeah, this game looks good. I give Square Enix some props. They make their games look pretty good. Although, like, I think the mistake with this, what they showed here, is that they showed her for real first, and then they showed her in game, and I was like, oh, you could tell it. You could kind of see the difference a little bit. It looks good, but like that's not the in game. That's that's a CG. So that looks okay. But when she's in, like, it's like an in-game cutscene. There's like a dragon that's launching or whatever, that's flying. Why can't I see the preview? Let's go forward. Wait, okay. There it is. Oh, her hair is like so bad. But that's in game. Look at the hair. Whoa. So it's a little. I don't want to say less. It's like a little bit of Uncanny Valley, but only because we saw her for real first, and the hair is a little ingy. But whatever. We're not there yet. I think next gen, after this gen, will be good. But also, who knows what engine they're using and the power of the PlayStation 5 is. And this looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game for real. Look at the landscape. You'll see it in the last I'll pause it. You'll see it right there. You can see it. Right there you can see it. That's Unreal. It's Unreal, but that is the Unreal Engine. That is literally what we see. What we saw this week. They say, look at the Unreal Engine. But this is the default ground stuff. They're like, oh, let's put that one there. I bet you could find these rocks on the Unreal Engine, whatever, default. Like, yep, that's rock. That's the one I use right there. I could put that. I bet you could build this whole thing right here in Unreal Engine 5 right now. Look at these trees. Look kind of whack, too. I don't know. Yeah, that's Unreal for real. Oh, here we go. Wait. Is it pause? Pause. No, that wasn't it. Stop. That wasn't it. It was something else that I read about that game. And I was like, huh. That makes it sound like that it is a... Oh, it was Kenna. My bad. It wasn't that game. It was Kenna. It was Kenna. Bridge of Spirits. That's what I read. So, blah, 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 right? We get another look at the game, blah, blah, blah. It's currently planned for PS4, PS5, and PC through Epic Game Store. Currently planned. Means that that's probably a timed exclusive. That's what it looks like to me. Who is... whatchamacalling that game? I don't know. Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. One thing I wanted to look through is these comments were a little. It's like you have super diehard Sony fans like this one. Sony doesn't need E3. They've honestly already created enough hype these past few weeks to keep people happy. So far this gen, Sony has been delivering. Can't complain. Now, I don't know if that's a really young person that I don't know. Next person says, normally I would agree, but I think E3 is still valid. Sony is growing an ego. This launch is starting to remind me of PS3 launch. They better hope that Microsoft doesn't start delivering good exclusives. I have both, but I have barely touched my PS5. They still have no VRR and quick resume. Microsoft just seems hungrier. That's true. Microsoft is hungrier. And the whole ego thing, yeah, a little bit. A little bit of PS3. I can see it. A little bit of PS3. But, I mean, part of this first statement is true. Only if you ignore the atrocities that they're doing. Like, it's like a battered wife or a husband or whatever. It's not syndrome, but I guess it's Stockholm. I guess it's like a Stockholm syndrome thing where it's like, oh, I mean, maybe he smacks me around, but he still love me. It's like y'all ignoring the things that they're saying. You're ignoring the things they're doing to their devs. Like, yo, you got to pay us like this. And I'm like, and then some ponies will compare, oh, well, Microsoft makes the indie devs put it on the cloud. It's part of the contract. I'm like, how is that a negative? Explain that to me. Like, if the game plays whack on the cloud that Microsoft forced you to, that doesn't make the dev look bad. That makes Microsoft look bad. So they're going to make sure that their cloud stuff works so that your game works as expected. So you can't blame the dev on that because they ain't got nothing to do with it. The dev has zero. They do not touch that whole cloud thing when it comes to the Microsoft Game Pass stuff. Like, say if we make our game, we put it on Game Pass, they say, yeah, but you know it's got to be on the cloud. It's like, whatever, dog, just pay us. Yuck. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, because the devs don't touch it. It's all on Microsoft's side. They're literally just playing the game in their servers. So that's all on their side. So I don't see how that can be a comparison point where they're like, yeah, but it's not even close. Not even close. I would say it's an advantage on the devs. It's like, oh well, we get more it's more people that can possibly play our game. Maybe not optimally, but still, depending on what type of game it is. The Canadian Delivery Systems, aren't they listed as one of the partners in Keeley's competing Summer Games thing? They aren't at E3, but they're going to be at that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably with that. It's time for Sony to struggle. Too much hubris with the difficulty in crossplay, attempted shutdown of PS3, Vita, and PSP stores, and skipping the biggest industry event. E3 is the second best time of the year after Black Friday for gamers. Yeah. Bye, baby. Microsoft backs out of raising Xbox Live prices and removing tiers. Good on them. They did the right thing. Sony backs out of removing PSN Store. I'll never forgive this slight. Yeah. Well, it usually happens the other way when Microsoft does something. Like I said, when Phil and Xbox was like, yeah, we're gonna support the Xbox One for 2 years. Everybody was like, argh. Not Sony. And then Sony does it. It's okay. What do you expect? It's a business. It's like, oh, okay. Double standards much? Just saying. No one does E3 anymore. They do their own presentations. Sony tried to do crossplay. They were denied. So why should they need to help the struggling competition? Okay. This person here says, Sony wasn't denied crossplay. They were the ones doing the denying. Look at the article on Borderlands 3 crossplay from last week. Read what Epic said. In the court, it took to get Fortnite crossplay on PlayStation. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was just saying. How they forced Epic to pay them royalties on sales from the store if they didn't get a certain percentage. It almost seems like it's extortion. It almost seems like it is. I mean, they signed the contract, so it's not technically, but that doesn't seem like if I made a contract, I said like this is how we do business. You got to pay us if you want our services. Okay, that's bad. I'm not even gonna go there. Funny seeing Sony fans saying how they don't need E3 or it's irrelevant now, when I still remember Nintendo was getting blasted from somewhat moving away from E3 all those years ago into creating directs. Yeah, did they? I mean, they might have, but they've always been, marching to the beat of their own disco. So Sony doesn't need E3. They're in a league of their own at this point. Power services, games, they have it all. Sony could win E3 without ever turning up. See, that's that ego right there. That's a an example of that ego put into text. It's like, they're number one. They were number one last time, and they're gonna be number one this time. No questions asked. Don't matter what they do, gonna be number one. I'm like, I mean, that's not true, right? They gotta work. They gotta do work. They gotta keep the title. They can't just be like lax and eat some burgers and get knocked out by Buster Douglas. I'm just saying, if they don't watch their back, there's a behemoth in the shadows. Ready with an uppercut. Ready with a right cross, left uppercut. Gow. Actually, I don't know what Buster Douglas did when he knocked out Mike Tyson, but I'm just saying that's what came to that's what came to my mind. Power services. That's funny. I'd say the Xbox has the services and Nintendo has the games. All Sony would bring to E3 would be a couple of hobos playing flute and banjo. Alright, that's pretty funny. That's a good callback. That's pretty funny. Even though those games are dope, still, Sony was whack as hell on their presentations. Their last couple of years was like, what in the hell? That's why they fired Sean Layden. If Sean Layden was in charge of that stuff, because those were the hot garbage. I was like, what are y'all doing? He's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do playing the flute. Dude's like this. He's like, and now a new game from Sucker Punch. Thank you. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why is this fool playing a flute with a rice patty hat on? Yo, is that a pro? Is this guy Asian? Should he be wearing that stuff? I'm just saying. Is it okay for a non-Asian to wear that garb, that costume, if you will? Eventually, E3 is not the same with or without Sony's presence. E3 was a spectacle back in the glory days. Hate to say it, but the end is nigh. No, I don't think it is. Especially with the pandemic, I think people are thirsty and hungry to get back to physical spaces. So I think an E3 can be a comeback. They just need to really do some deep dive in looking, and definitely they need to change the pricing structure for charging these companies, because I know they're trying to make money, but I don't understand why they need to charge so much. Does it cost that much to rent out the freaking whatever center, LA Convention Center for 5 days? Does it cost that much? Where's all that money go? Because I know that the separate companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, when they were there, it's not like they pay one fee and then they get their sets built. They have to pay for their own stuff as well. It's not like, I think one of the things is the unions. Do they have to pay all these workers to set up the stuff? You can't, it's a union gig. So that's one thing. That's why it costs more than it should, I guess. But I'm not saying anything against reunions, but I'm just saying that's a factor. Ratchet is coming out in a week. I think Ratchet and Clank will be a cool game. I don't know how. Like, is it boom? Is it the game? I don't think Ratchet and Clank should be the game to showcase the power of the PlayStation 5. I think that's the wrong game. I think whatever Naughty Dog's gonna do next is the game. Single player, not the multiplayer stuff. That's a unknown right now. All I read was ego. E3 is an event that brings people across all platforms together to unite in its celebration of games. What Sony is doing is pandering to its existing fan base, which is okay for Sony fans, but alienating to the rest of the industry and other fans. It sends a message that they don't care about nothing and nobody else but themselves. If you look at their fan base on any comment board, it's usually filled with crazed PlayStation elitists or supremacists. And that is a result of Sony's marketing. As a PC Xbox guy, I envy PlayStation exclusives, but there's no way I'm supporting them at this point. Too greedy. All right, I'll give him a like. Okay, I won't give him a like for that. Wow, that was pretty. Yeah. Honestly, if Sony had different messaging, if Jim Ryan wasn't saying the dumb things, if it was just what Herman Holtz said in his recent interview, and none of what Jim Ryan was saying, and none of the contract stuff from the Apple lawsuit came out. Well, let me change that. If none of that was true, like they weren't charging Epic or any other company, studio who wants to do crossplay a nominal fee. If Sony were actually a good company, good guys, not trying to screw over devs and everybody else and lying to their fans, then there would be no problem, right? Because they got the games. But everything else, like they got the games, right? Let's be real. They got the games that people want to play, even though I think they could be better because of the whole cross-gen thing. There's a lot of people who say that, and I agree with it. But, this is the situation we're in. You'll get a little bit of an improvement, but you won't get the full. Unless, like I said before, the PlayStation 5 is incapable of doing more than they're doing actually on. No, I refuse to believe that. No, I take it back. It could be better. Anyway. If I totally lost my train of thought there. But if Sony were the good guys in the respects and the things that I had just previously mentioned, then there would be no issues. We would not be having conversations about we believe in generations. I said that when he first said that. I said they're full of shite. He is full of shite. We believe in generations. Really? I said that. I gotta find the episode I said that. I know I said it on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, okay. Y'all gonna see. And guess what happened? And I'm like, and then there's some ponies out there that just let it go. It's like, oh, it's all right. As long as they give us the games, they can do whatever they want. I'm like, that's not good. That's not good because you give them an inch, they're gonna take, take a continent. Take a lot of miles. Take all the miles. It doesn't seem like, well, first and foremost, you have to look at what Sony was in the beginning of the PlayStation 3, throughout that generation, going into PlayStation 4, right? Up until, I would say, the end of 2019, right? When Jim Ryan took over, that's when stuff started changing. So, PlayStation 3, they come out too high, get another job, giant enemy crabs, disaster, right? They made moves throughout that generation to change direction, to change the narrative, to get out these games, to make super dope exclusives, right? That's the foundation of what PlayStation games are right now. And that carried into PlayStation 4, boom, right? And there was no issues as far as crossplay because that wasn't even a thing yet. It was really, yeah, they had the hack and all that stuff, but whatever. We're not talking about that stuff. We're just talking about fundamentally what PlayStation was, what were their driving forces, what was their the feeling behind the corporation. Like, oh man, they get good games, and then they were giving out free games on PlayStation Plus and all. They were doing all the good stuff, all the right moves, right? PlayStation 4 comes along, they're killing it. They did the indie thing in the beginning because they didn't have no games, and that's fine. Not saying I'm just saying that's what they did because they didn't have no games at launch. And then, boom, 3 years later, here's some bangers. Here you go, bang, bang, bang. And then pretty much every year since then, bangers, right? That's what you do. Meanwhile, Microsoft's like, oh, shoot, we just did a PS3. Well, let's fix it. It's going to take us all generation. That's all right. Let's go. And that's what they did. And so Microsoft did what Sony did during the PS3 era in the Xbox One era. Now, Microsoft is doing what Sony did, PlayStation, in the PS4 era right now. They're getting their games together. They're getting their studios together. They're getting all that stuff together. Same thing that PS3 did during the mid to the end of the PS3 into the PS4. That's what Microsoft is doing right now. That's what they did at the end, or like 2018 when they started buying all the studios. That's what they're doing right now. So if you see things as a cyclical type of occurrence, then you can see what's going to happen. You can see that bangers are coming. And the thing is, it's like, oh, it's just gonna be Halo, Forza, and what was the other one? Halo, Gears of Forza. That's what the ponies do. Besides Halo, Gears, and Forza, what you got? I was like, how you gonna negate like the three best game franchise? You can't do that. Hey, Bonds, how you doing? Thanks for showing up. Preach. But now it's not just Halo, Gears, and Forza. It's not just the 6 studios that they have. They got so many studios, ridiculous. They got so many studios. They got extra studios. Like, yeah, y'all can make some PS3 exclusives for a minute. Y'all can do that. That's how I meant. No, I'm just kidding. That was under contract, we know. But so I'm like, it's not the same. It's not even the same when Sony was coming back from the PS3 era. You know what I mean? It's even more than that. It's like even more exciting because, like, imagine if Sony had 23 studios coming into PS4. Come on, son. They would have destroyed everything. And in a way they did, only because Microsoft fumbled the ball every time they got it. They fumbled it on the first play. They just gave them the game. The quarterback broke his big toe, couldn't play. The third string quarterback came in, fresh out of high school, getting sacked every I'm just saying. It's totally different. But if you look at it, it's the same in that, Sony did it back then. Microsoft is doing it now, but they're doing it bigger because they have more money to do it, A. And they actually have more going into it than Sony did going into PS4. Meaning Game Pass. It's like, that's a whole extra element to this whole formula, this whole scenario that wasn't an issue or wasn't a factor back in PS3 to PS4 generation transition. So we have no idea how this is going to turn out. I mean, we're seeing some of the things happen now. We're like, what was the game? There's the Unreal game. I totally forgot the game. I played a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But Outriders. Outriders is like it's like an okay game. But it got more traction because it was on Game Pass and more people played it. And that's the beauty of Game Pass, is that all the triple B games or the smaller games that fell between indie and AAA, now they have a home. Now they have a place to live and to thrive. And like a game like No Man's Sky. If a game like No Man's Sky launched into Game Pass and they kept building, making it better, there wouldn't have been the controversy when it first landed. It would have been like, okay, it's all right, but, it's like, it ain't the best thing, but it's on Game Pass. I checked it out. It's okay. They need to fix it. They fix it. Oh, we did the fix. And, and people still engaged because it's still free. It's what happened with Sea of Thieves, basically. Sea of Thieves came out, and it was on Game Pass. And I had the physical copy because Bridget bought it from me because she didn't know any better. But It's on Game Pass, so I played the Game Pass version. It's the same version, but I played that, and now there's like 20 million people playing that game. I'm like, golly, how many? Is it 20 million or 2 million? I don't know. It's a lot of millions of people are playing that game, and I was like, okay. And I think they're supposed to have an announcement for it on E3, so we'll see what's up with that. Bond says, different topic. Launched my browser and seeing headline about Florida sugar mill worker shot his boss after he got fired. That sounds about right. Yeah, there's been a lot of shootings recently. A lot of people getting shot. So I ain't going out. Not like that. Well, I ain't going out, and I don't want to go out like that. Does that make sense? First of all, I'm not a boss, so I don't have any employees, so I can't get shot by my employees because I don't have any. I could get shot by, I guess, a fellow employee or former employee, maybe, but that's bad. So we don't want to talk about that. Sony succeeds without E3. They don't need to be there. I do miss the old days of E3 when all were there, but I can see and understand by the skip. I mean, look, Sony has their prerogatives. They're definitely Herman Hulst and Jim Ryan are businessmen first. So it's always about making that money first. And all of the moves that they're making that the fans hate, like going to PC. Dude, Uncharted 4 is going to PC. Don't need a PlayStation. I don't even need a PlayStation 5. Like I said, all these games are crossplay. Don't need a PlayStation 5. Just get a PlayStation. I'm going to go to the flea market. I know. I'm going to go to the swap shop down in Sunrise. And I know for a fact that they're going to have a PlayStation 4 there. Chilling. And I'm like, give me that. I hope it's a version 1 because I don't like the slim. So if it's a version 1 for like $50 or something, $20, something like that. I mean, it's going to be more now because of the the chip shortage. So everything's more money. But I bought my PS3 for $20 back when. But I gave it to my nephew. So I only have a PS1 and PS2 now. And I bought those. Both of those, each for $20. I told you this before, but that seems to be a trend with me. Buying PlayStation consoles for $20 after they years after they've launched. Sony wants to stay in control of their timing in relation to the competition. They like having their event last. I hope we get something like PSX in June or July. Y'all are dumb, man. Y'all expect they got nothing to show. All the games have been freaking delayed. Why would they waste time showing it, like building a specific demo to show the game? Like, how long did it take for them to get that Horizon Forbidden West demo together? And could they have used that time, instead of putting that demo together, finishing the game to get it out this year? If it gets delayed to next year, then the reason why is because they had to make that demo. I'm going to say that. Maybe. Thank you. Prush. Let me see. Oh, Matthew Bradford is to the third. Thank you, Matt. Prush. Video game outsiders. Go listen to that show, VGO. Even though John's a knucklehead, never did that remix album that I spent my hard-earned beats on. Forget it. I'm done with you, John. Done with you, Juan Jacobson. Just released Horizon this year, along with The Last of Us 2 multiplayer. You know what? Here's what I think. I think they need to, if they make a Last of Us 2 multiplayer, they need to make it more of a broad appeal type of game. So it would be, the smartest thing to do would to have a couple of different game types. So PvPvE would be this one of the game types where they're going to be mushroom people running around the level. Plus, it's a battle royale, so it's closing in. Maybe there's some mini bosses in there, kind of like what Warzone was. Halo Warzone, Halo 5 Warzone. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like The Last of Us 2's setting. I don't like the post-apocalypticalness of it. I definitely don't like the characters. I mean, the characterization and the acting is excellent, but I just don't like them. Those games are the young Ellie stuff. When Ellie was young and Joel was younger, and they were in the museum and stuff, and even in the first game, or even when the left alone. What was it called? Whenever she was with her little friend. That stuff was more interesting because it was a destroyed world from the eyes of a child, which is more innocent and less jaded and less like, I'm gonna kill you because I need the water. You know what I mean? So Bond says Warzone with the Promethean's boss, the Where Ammo Fighter. Yeah, that's true. But they were kind of like little mini bosses. I think they had kind of a spark of a good idea with that. Like they could have like a little mini boss and then like a bigger boss, like a Destiny boss or something. But it's still all a giant sandbox. So you could be like, okay, I can't mess with this boss, so I'm gonna just run away, and you can run away. You know, it's not, and the boss is just kind of in one area. So, or maybe some of the bosses are roaming, so it'll roam and they'll follow you, and you'd be like, oh snap, it's like Resident Evil. So there's so many things that they can do. And something like that, I think, can be a delineation. I think they can do different modes with Halo Infinite multiplayer. That would be, this is only Xbox Series exclusive. You can't play this specific mode. Does not exist on the Xbox One. I'd be totally fine with that. And then that would be the delineation between, oh, if you want to play this one that everybody's on, you gotta get the new system. You know what I mean? You gotta give them a reason, man. Hey, playing it right now. Oh, nice. Nice. Let's see what else they're saying. Quit skipping E3, Sony. You guys used to have some of the best press conferences. Yeah, used to. The orchestral opening to 2016 press conference where you announced God of War Revival was one of the best moments of E3. I think that was the beginning of the end. What saved that press conference was the games, but the presentation was like, it felt like it was too... It was hubris. Once again, it was like, oh, we're special. So we're going to have a special presentation and have an orchestra play. It's like, that's all unnecessary. And all those people hanging from the thing with the Days Gone. Probably the best moment for all parties was E3 2000 when the Metal Gear Solid 2 trailer was revealed. That trailer brought the house down with what could be accomplished for a video game. I don't even remember that. Might skip E3s in 2 weeks. No might, but anything. Yeah, they're not there. Last rumor leak said their PlayStation experience will be June 28th, and that Horizon Forbidden West was a November 30th release date. Don't know if I believe it though. The leaked email mentions the release date for no reason. Seems odd. Yeah, it might be lies. You guys are still holding on to the idea that something might be there? No, they're not gonna be here. I thought it was so bad. It was there, but rumor. Nothing. Nothing worth showing. No point with wasting money showing COD and time exclusives from Microsoft. Now, that's just a hater right there. I mean, I'm definitely interested in what that Naughty Dog multiplayer will be, but I mean, if it's just gonna be Last of Us multiplayer, then nah, I'm good. They need something bigger, something grander. Yeah, something. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they can do. I was about to say. Maybe they can do a crossover, so it's Last of Us crossed with Horizon, Forbidden West, or whatever. So imagine if The Last of Us happens, right? So Last of Us is post-apocalyptic, right? But it's not 1,000 years in the future. Horizon is. So imagine if The Last of Us is canon for Horizon's world, and they go to Seattle or wherever, and it's Horizon with the Dinobots, but also the Mushroom People. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, this is a standalone multiplayer game. They can do whatever the heck they want. That would make sense. Canonically, it makes sense because they're both post-apocalyptic. But like I said, Last of Us is before, and Horizon is later. So there's nothing in. Oh, I don't know if there is, but maybe there's a thing in the Sony Bible that says The Last of Us 2 is part of the history of Horizon's history. Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West of the history It's there. It's all the same universe. So it's possible. That would be all right, right? And maybe they see like a statue of Kratos somewhere because that's in the history of. It's all the same world. Come on. I know they tried to Battle Royale, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, but that didn't work. That was bad. But I think there's a possibility of them making something like that. And it would be cool. That'd be definitely interesting to play. Dinobots and Mushroom People? Shoot. And that's about it. God of War is delayed, GT, and God of War Cross Gen. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, the cross gen stuff is bad. It's a shame because why buy PlayStation 5 if you're not gonna get all the juice out of it? Like I said, unless PlayStation 5 ain't all that, and they're getting all the juice out of it now, they just don't want to say it, and they're just trying to play both ends and benefit both sides, where it's like going to benefit the fact that we need to still have the games on PS4, and the fact that we do that shows the inadequacies of the PlayStation 5, so we don't have to push it as hard. But Ratchet & Clank disproves that in a way, but it's only in the fast loading time for the world switching. But other than that, like a little bit of ray tracing, but not really, because they don't have hardware stuff. It's all Lumen stuff type thing. So I mean, it's sad because Sony used to be on top of the game when it comes to hardware, but not no more. No more. Do. Yeah, that's all I got. And Legend, I want to thank you. You gave me some advice about clipping out. I did clip out a thing about how to fix Microsoft Live, Xbox Live. Did I do? I think I might clip out some of this show too, but maybe we'll see. I got a BB-8 shirt on, so maybe Lucasfilm will claim it. Anyway, I'm done. I got nothing else to say. I think I'm gonna go inside and try to finish Psychonauts. Because I haven't finished it. I'm at the meat circus, and I've gotten to like the third platform, and it's frustrating because I'm like, But I'm just not. It's probably an easy solution to what I'm doing. I'm just not doing it right, obviously. But that's a good game. You also play it. But Bonds, I appreciate you popping in. Bridget, I'll see you in a few. Legend, appreciate you coming through. No doubt. I think that's it. I ain't got nothing else. Do I have music here? Let me see. I never played any. Because, whoa. That's loud because this thing is. Now. Music for the people. Alright, y'all. I shouldn't have put my mixer so far away from my microphone. But that's okay. But anyway, I'll catch y'all next week.